Hi, everyone. It's Laurel O'Sullivan, your astro advocate, helping you transform your life with astrology. This week, we say goodbye to Libra season as the sun moves into Scorpio on October 22nd. We're also still working to integrate the energies from the new moon in Libra from October 16th, and Venus factors prominently in this week. So those are the highlights, and let's jump into it. So whenever the planets are changing signs as they are this week, there's some turbulence, because we're shifting energies, we're shifting gears. When we moved from the sign of Virgo, which is about work, into Libra, we went from focusing on work to focusing on our relationships. And now that we're moving from Libra, which is all about finding harmony and balance in our relationships, into Scorpio, Scorpio wants us to look at accountability. And that's one of the primary messages of last week's new moon is, how are we accountable in relationships? How do we show up? And it starts with showing up for ourselves, with owning our own authority. And even if we aren't 100% sure how we're going to move forward, we know that we need to stand in our own truth and our own integrity. And only then can we change our relationships to others. So that's a really prominent theme that's going to continue for the next 30 days after this new moon. And just to give you a tip in terms of how to use astrology, it's really, think of it as a divining rod for connecting with your own higher wisdom or intuition. It's a data set, a data point, but it is not absolute. So whenever you're learning or listening about astrology, you should really take what you're hearing and go inward and connect with the feeling and what's being stimulated for you, because your birth chart is going to get stimulated in a very different way by the transiting planets and transiting energies, which shift from week to week, than your friend or your neighbor. So it's about having a dialogue with your higher self. So right now we are going through a time of deep integration, which we will continue through January, from now until January, because in January, Mars, which is currently retrograde, is going to stop making squares to all of those planets in Capricorn, because that new moon last week in Libra was a doozy, because it had all these challenging aspects that were happening with Saturn, Pluto, and they were coming both from Mars and Aries, but also from the moon and the sun. So it was coming from every which way. And so this is about new beginnings in our relationships. But it's also significant energy that we're working to integrate, because this is the last new moon of the year, or the last moon of the year, that is going to connect to those planets in Capricorn. So what is this about? Well, in order to understand the significance of this, we need to go back to January 12th, which of course is when the big conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, which defined the whole year, occurred. And that energy basically said to all of us, go forth and redefine the structures in your life, transform the structures in your life, or tear them down. That's Saturn. And the structures are Capricorn, and transformation is Pluto. So that's been the energy that we've been working with this year, is about tearing down or transforming the structures in our lives that help us to step into our authority. And we're being given lots of opportunities this year, thanks to Saturn, and how to do that. And answering the how is still unknown, because Mars and Mercury are retrograde, and they're going to continue to be retrograde into November. Mercury will stay retrograde until November 3rd. Mars will stay retrograde until November 13th. So once they both move direct in November, then we will be given more information about how we do that. But until then, this new moon is asking us to show Saturn what we've been doing to transform our lives. And in order to understand where that's happening for you, you need to know where Pluto is in your chart. And we need to show Saturn that we've stepped up into some role of authority in our life. So that's what's happening in terms of integrating that new moon energy. Now, early in the week, we get a couple of prompts that are helping us with that integration. One of them involves Mercury. Mercury is opposing Uranus, and this happened a couple of weeks ago as well. And this energy, Mercury is about our voice and our choice. Uranus is about technology and information. So this may bring sudden insights, sudden downloads. It also might have to do with how we express ourselves using technologies, but because Mercury is in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign of things that are hidden, there might be something that is suddenly revealed to you, or either by somebody else or to yourself, from your higher consciousness to yourself. So that is the second time that we are having that aspect occur this month. We also are having Mars square Jupiter that occurred early in this week as well. And that's asking us to think about how we respond. Mars is our drive and our will. Jupiter, of course, is expansion. It's our higher self. So how can we react in a different way? Because Mars is retrograde, so we don't have the same ability to act like we normally do. And in fact, this is an invitation for you to exert yourself in a relationship in a different way. So those are a couple of the energies that are helping us with this integration, about helping us to transform our energy and relationship, and helping us to understand our authority in a different and more profound, insightful way. So then we shift the energy. And in the second half of the week, we have Venus stepping up to the plate. And Venus is kind of where all of the action is. Right now, Venus is in Virgo. And so love is in the details. Love is in the things that we do for others. Virgo is an earth sign. It's very practical. It's about showing up. Love is not a concept when Venus is in Virgo. So what are the things that we can do in practical and small ways to show that we care? So on October 20th, Venus is making contact with the lunar nodes. The lunar nodes, of course, are these hypothetical points on the moon that point us either, the north node points us in the direction of our life purpose, and the south node shows us where we've come from, what we've already mastered. So when Venus is squaring the nodes, this is going to bring up relationship stories for us, stories that we tell ourselves about how we show up and how we connect. And so you're being given an opportunity here to challenge those in some ways, to look at those and understand those in a different way. And how can you learn from the past? How can you learn from the past year about how to create a different future? And then Venus is also connecting with Jupiter, which is about abundance and blessings. And on October 21st, Venus is connecting with Pluto. So this is about transforming love. And this might be an opportunity that shows up in some significant way for you to transform the way that you look at and understand love in your life. And then towards the end of the week, we have Venus Trine's a positive energy with Saturn on October 24th and 5th. And this gives stability. And it gives us added clarity about what it is that we need in our relationships. So Venus is doing its best to help us as we move into Scorpio season to gain some solid footing in our relationships that are going to be asked to be transformed, and which we're going to be given more clarity about what that transformation is when Mars and Mercury come out of retrograde. Okay, now the final thing happening this week is that on October 22nd, we have the sun moving into Scorpio. This is a transition point. Things in Scorpio are very raw and real, and Scorpio represents a necessary step in our evolution. It takes us out of the comfort zone of Libra. Libra is all about the finer things in life, about beauty, about feeling good, about diplomacy. And so we're going to be asked to confront things that maybe we didn't want to during Libra season. And to talk about the experiences and have the experiences that we don't have to, because Scorpio is all about emotional and spiritual and even physical transformation. But for the first half of Scorpio season, Mars, which is Scorpio's ruler, is going to be retrograde. And again, Mercury is still retrograde, and Mercury is in Scorpio. So we're getting organized and we're doing some of the internal work and we're focusing on our health, but we have to tie up loose ends and revisit some old projects to transform ourselves, to get ready to purify ourselves. So as we head into Scorpio season this week, where are you ready to transform your life? And when Mars goes direct, we will have more energy and more clarity around that. but Scorpio season is the perfect energy to support the psychological integration that this new moon kicked off. It's a great opportunity for understanding ourselves at a deeper level. And these insights will help us well into 2021 and beyond. So as we shift into Scorpio season and head towards the end of October, we're starting to span two very different energy fields because Saturn in Capricorn is moving away from Pluto. It's heading towards Aquarius, where it will land on December 17th. So there's an opening being created. There's a little less restriction that we're going to start feeling in the next few weeks. So the question for all of us is, are you ready to transform? And in what way? And so my invitation to you is to not be afraid of any of these energies. I know this is a very intense time, but these are very much opportunities for our growth. And if you look at your chart, it's your own personal roadmap that can show you where your best opportunities for growth are. And if you're interested in having a consultation about that, I do offer birth chart consultations, and I will include a link below. I also offer monthly mentoring, subscription-based mentoring around how to work with the energies in your chart to achieve the goals that you're looking to transform your life. So I hope that this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, and share if you liked what you heard, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.